opening the Energy Gates Qigong consists of a set of standing practices, and then 4 movements, a version of cloud hands, what's called the first swing, the second swing, and then the third swing, and then a spinal exercise called the Taoist spine stretch. What I'd like to do here is introduce the basics of the second swing. If we go back to cloud hands or the first swing and the lower body movement components, it's basically a weight shift and a hip rotation into the weighted leg. Weight shift, hip rotation into the weighted leg. The footwork or the lower body movement components of the second swing is a little different. You have the weight shift, but then you turn the hips away from the weighted leg and you move the leg. And it's this action of moving the unweighted leg with the pelvis rather than rotating the hip joint that for many people initially is just unusual. Haven't done it before. But hey, you got to start somewhere. So let's start. So follow me, shift weight. And now turn your hips away from that weighted leg and just allow the unweighted leg to hang under the pelvis. And then you land lightly on the ball of the foot. And then you turn your hips straight ahead, use those hips to move the foot back to approximately under the hips and with the feet parallel. Then you shift weight. Turn hips, have that hip rotation to move your leg and foot. Turn hips straight ahead. Have that hip rotation, move your leg and foot. Shift weight. Turn the hips. Turn the hips. Shift weight. Turn the hips. Turn hips straight ahead. Shift weight. Turn hips. Hips straight ahead. Shift weight. Turn hips. Hips straight ahead. Shift weight. And that's the basic footwork. And in teaching this move, I encourage people to practice it like this for a while. And then here's a part that for most of us takes a little while to get. So if I shift weight and turn my hips away from the weighted leg, my pelvis, the side of the pelvis goes back. And if I'm hanging my leg and foot under my pelvis, then the foot's going to go back too. And it goes back in an arc because the pelvis is arcing back, or this side of the pelvis is arcing back. And the knee and the foot stay aligned with the pelvis. And then when I bring it back to straight ahead, then the foot's parallel. And again, I'm aiming to keep the leg and the foot aligned with the front of the pelvis. And when you do that, you get a sense of, hey, this leg's just hanging under the pelvis, and enables you to release the hip joint momentarily. Now I want to show you what are some common errors in doing that. So I shift weight and then I just turn my foot up. And the body does that. I mean, it's not wrong. It's just not this move. So what we're going for is hanging the leg under and just letting the pelvis move the leg and foot. And then what do the arms do? Same thing as in the first swing. They just hang. So just take a moment, just let your arms go so they feel like ropes. And then begin to shift weight and turn your hips and let your arms hang. The more dynamic your weight shift and hip turn, the more the arms will tend to swing. And it's pretty common to see these arm movements and want to do them by moving the arms. or activating muscles in the shoulders and the arms to move the arms. But that's not the aim here. We're aiming to release the shoulders, upper back, arms, and allow them to swing. I would describe them as ballistic. They're not internally powered. They're powered by the legs and the hips. And with practice, if this is the first time you're doing this might not feel so smooth. But eventually, as that footwork stabilizes, you can get a smooth, continuous movement going. And the arms will swing more and more the more you relax the shoulders and upper back. Yeah, that's the idea. All right. One practice tip. You take this on as a practice. Periodically in your practice, you can stop when you get to one side or the other and then check. Is my knee and foot aligned with the front of my pelvis, or have I rotated it? Or have I just turned the foot out? And if you note that, then you can correct it. And then pick your movement back up, get the footwork going, let the arm swing. Feeling for any tendency to move the arms from the shoulders or flex the biceps. And you want the arms to just hang like ropes. And then you get to the other side and stop and check. Is your leg and foot aligned with your hip? Yes, that's okay. If you rotated in this hip joint, then it would not be. So the hip's pointing this way, the pelvis is pointing this way, legs pointing that way. So you realign. All right. That's an introduction to the second swing from opening the Energy Gates Qigong. Thanks.